So a little while ago, I was asked to make some cupcakes for my son's best friend's shark-themed birthday party. I like going all out for birthday parties, so I offered to make a few flavors, and the birthday boy picked cookies and cream, moon mist, and s'mores. I had a lot of fun putting together 3 cupcake recipes that combined cake, filling, frosting, and a shark fin-shaped cookie to go with each flavor. In this video, I'll show you how to make the cookies and cream shark cupcakes. You can find videos of the other 2 cupcake flavors on my channel, and as always, the full recipe is on my website. Let's get started. To make the shark fin cookies, I'm using the Oreos recipe from Stella Park's Brave Tart book. Start by sifting together 80 grams of all-purpose flour with 18 grams of Dutch processed cocoa powder. Add 57 grams of unsalted room temperature butter, 50 grams of granulated sugar, 28 grams of corn syrup, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and a pinch of salt to the bowl of a stand mixer. Mix on low just to combine, then crank the mixer up to medium-high and beat until light and fluffy, which took me about 5 minutes. Add the dry ingredients and mix on low just until combined. Dust your work surface with some cocoa powder and roll the dough out to about 1/8 of an inch thick. Use a circular cookie cutter about 2 to 3 inches in diameter to make the shark fins, first by cutting a few sets of overlapping circles to make crescent moon shapes. Then use a large knife to cut the crescent moons in half to make the shark fins. These get arranged on a baking sheet. I like to use a perforated baking mat like this because the little holes allow air to circulate and prevent the cookies from spreading out too much. You can use parchment paper or a silicone baking mat instead. These get baked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until they're firm and dry, about 15 minutes. For the cake, I'm going to start by separating a bunch of Oreo cookies and setting the filling aside. I'll show you later how I'll use them to make a creamy filling for the cupcakes. For now, roughly chop the Oreo cookies and set them aside. To a medium bowl, add 185 grams of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of fine sea salt. Whisk that together and set aside. Add 50 grams of cocoa powder to a small heat-proof bowl and pour 1/3 of a cup of boiling water over it. Whisk together to form a paste. To a large bowl, add 60 grams of melted unsalted butter, 1/3 of a cup of a neutral flavored oil, 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk, 2 large room temperature eggs, and the cocoa paste. Give that a good whisk until it's nice and smooth. Then add 220 grams of granulated sugar and whisk until combined. Add the dry ingredients and stir in gently just until combined. Finally, fold in the chopped Oreos. Divide the batter among 12 paper-lined muffin cups and bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean, about 30 minutes. Let's use those Oreo centers we took out earlier to make some Oreo ganache filling. First, roughly chop 100 grams of white chocolate and transfer it to a medium heat-proof and microwave-safe bowl along with the centers from 16 Oreo cookies. Bring 100 grams of heavy cream to a simmer and pour it over the chocolate. Let it sit for a couple minutes to let the chocolate melt and whisk until smooth. If your chocolate refuses to melt, just microwave it for 15 or 30 seconds and whisk again. Cover with plastic wrap and refrigerate until completely cool, then transfer it to a piping bag fitted with a medium round tip. Finally, let's make the Oreo buttercream. Add 345 grams of granulated sugar and a 1/2 cup of water to a small saucepan. Make sure you don't have any stray granules of sugar sticking to the sides of the pan or the sugar syrup could crystallize. Turn the heat to medium-high and give it a stir. Bring it to a boil and, in the meantime, put 5 large room temperature eggs in the bowl of a stand mixer fitted with the whisk attachment. Start mixing on medium-low while the sugar is heating up. Put a candy thermometer in the saucepan and as soon as it reaches 230 degrees Fahrenheit, crank the mixer up to medium-high. You're aiming for the eggs to be fluffy and light and at least doubled in volume by the time the sugar reaches 240 degrees. As soon as it does, remove the pan from the heat and slowly but carefully pour the syrup into the beating eggs in a steady stream. You want to pour the hot sugar syrup somewhere between the edge of the bowl and the moving whisk. If it hits the side of the bowl, it might stick there and solidify, but if it hits the moving whisk, you could end up getting hot sugar syrup thrown at you. Once all of the sugar syrup has been added, keep whipping on medium-high until it's thick and glossy and the bowl no longer feels warm to the touch. This should take around 10 minutes. You can speed this up by rubbing a gel ice pack on the outside of the bowl. Add about a teaspoon of vanilla extract, then, with the mixer running, start adding 1 piece of butter at a time. At one point or another, the buttercream might look a bit soupy or curdled. Just keep adding the butter until it's all in. If you find it's getting very soupy, you can rub an ice pack on the outside of the bowl as it's whipping to help the mixture cool down and solidify. After all the butter has been added, continue whipping at medium-high speed until thick and smooth, about 3 to 5 minutes. Add 1 cup of Oreo cookie crumbs and mix until combined. Transfer to a piping bag fitted with a large French star tip. To put it all together, take the center out of a cupcake. You can also use a large piping tip to do this if you don't have a cupcake corer. Fill the cupcake with some Oreo ganache and cover it with the cupcake center. Pipe a couple big swirls of buttercream on top, then sprinkle on some blue sanding sugar or sprinkles. Finally, nestle a shark fin cookie into the buttercream. There you have it, a cookies and cream cupcake with delicious chocolate Oreo cake filled with a creamy Oreo white chocolate ganache, topped with some rich Oreo buttercream and an Oreo shark fin. If you enjoyed this recipe, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and check out these videos for recipes for my moon mist shark cupcakes and s'mores shark cupcakes. Thanks for watching.